Welcome back to week 6 of True Treats and Monday Night Meals. This week, Monday Night Football is bringing us the Miami Dolphins taking on the New York Jets.
This week we're making Jamaican jerk chicken for the Miami Dolphins and a Waldorf salad for the New York Jets. Go Jets!
Up first is that Jamaican jerk chicken for the Miami Dolphins. Once again, we're working for that Floridian cuisine, mixing the Caribbean with the American down there in southern Florida. And for this, we first need to make our marinade. Now there's a lot of ingredients in our Jamaican jerk marinade, but once you get them all together and put them in that food processor and let your chicken sit in that marinade for a good 24 hours, in this case 48 hours, so that it absorbs all the flavor into the meat, and it'll help break down the fatty tissues and the tendons while it's marinating. So when you cook it, it'll come out nice and juicy and tender. So as I said, there are a few ingredients here that we needed to put into our marinade. The first ingredients that you saw there was some thyme, and then we added some allspice, as well as some sugar, of course, some salt and pepper. And we just added some ginger, which we used a ginger paste we had left over from when my mom moved out of town. You can also use fresh ginger and just ground that up right there on the ginger root and throw it into the marinade. After the ginger, we threw in some nutmeg and some cinnamon. And then we moved on to some olive oil and a little bit of soy sauce. And we're just now adding in our orange juice. And next we'll add in our white vinegar, and last we'll squeeze a fresh lime into the marinade, using that same process that we covered a couple weeks ago, where you use your thumbs to work the inner flesh of that lime so you get all of the juice out of it and you don't put anything to waste. We pureed all of those ingredients in the food processor as you just saw, and now there's only 3 ingredients left to finish off our marinade. The first is a white onion, as we're chopping up and leaving in large half crescent shapes. Then we're going to dice up some fresh garlic and chop up 3 jalapenos into coin sizes. We want to leave these vegetables whole and on the side and put them in the container so they absorb the juices and the flavors of the marinade as well, because we'll be cooking them right alongside the chicken. We place all of those ingredients into the bowl and we just mix the chicken thighs that we're cooking along with our onions and garlic and jalapenos. Then we pour on that marinade, mix it up by hand, put a lid right on top, throw it in the fridge, and let it sit for, in this case, 48 hours so all of those flavors will absorb. We'll have deep flavored, juicy, and tender chicken. 48 hours later and we're ready to cook our chicken for some Monday Night Football. So we pull it out of the fridge, the pan's already hot, so we just grab those chicken thighs and throw them right in. Toss in the rest of those onions and jalapenos and let the chicken simmer. And while that chicken is simmering, we'll go ahead and make our Waldorf salad representing the New York Jets. First thing we need to do is make the dressing for our salad. Typically this calls for mayonnaise, but we wanted a healthier version, so we just use a little plain yogurt to substitute so we get those antibodies and fresh cultures going along. Now, you saw me cut a lemon in half. We're going to take that with just a teeny bit of honey, toss it into the bowl, squeeze the lemon in there. Great thing about the lemon, it is to help keep our apples from browning once we have the salad all made. The acidity in the lemon will also help balance out the sweetness from the honey. Now you just grab a fork and whisk up your dressing. The dressing is done and it's time to put the chicken in the oven. First thing we need to do is grab some tongs and flip over each one of those thighs so we get the flavor absorbed on all sides of that chicken. Then, once we flip them over, we'll pour in the rest of our marinade with our onions and our jalapenos so we can slow cook those and bake them in the oven till our chicken's about 165 degrees. That means it's in the safe zone and it'll be ready to eat. Now that our chicken is finishing off in the oven, we have time to finish our Waldorf salad. So what we're going to do is take our 2 green apples and we're going to core them, and then we're going to cut them up into about dime-sized chunks. That way we have a nice texture throughout our salad. After we finish chopping up those apples, we're going to move on to our next ingredient, and that's celery. About 2 stalks will do, and we'll just take those, chop them up into little half crescents. Then we're going to move on to our red seedless grapes, which we just half each one of those to again work with a good bite size and get a good texture difference throughout the salad. And speaking of texture, we add a little bit of crunch by just chopping up some fresh walnuts that we got down at the store. Then we're going to take all of those ingredients, put them on top of our apples, which have been resting in our dressing so they once again don't get brown. Then we'll just grab the fork we already have in the bowl, toss the salad up, and then we just wait for the chicken to finish and it will be time to eat. Chicken finally hit 165 degrees, which means it's ready to eat and we're in that safe zone. So it's time to plate up our dish. We take our 2 chicken thighs, put them side by side, make sure to cover them with plenty of jalapenos and onions and get a lot of that marinated dressing right on top of the chicken. Then we're just going to take some nice romaine lettuce that we have there, partition it out, and on top we'll spoon our Waldorf salad. The great thing about this meal is we've got our spicy Jamaican Caribbean flavors and a nice cool light salad to go on the side, which balances the meal greatly. And the whole thing took us about 25 minutes and we have a delicious meal. Enjoy!
Thank you for joining us on another week of True Treats Monday Night Meals. Remember, click that subscribe button up top so that you get the videos in your YouTube inbox every week. Always like and favorite this video to help True Treats grow. And you can always tell us how we did through a video response, Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. We thank you for joining us once again. Check out the links down below for more information, and we'll see you next time.